guys, so we're off into town again today just to pick up a few last things from T2000, so some wine glasses, some shot glasses, and just a few more bits and pieces, and just finishing to stock the kitchen because tomorrow my kitchen manager is arriving, and him and we're going to spend the day trying to make sure that everything on the menu is possible and will taste good, hopefully. He's a better cook than I am, and so we're going to make sure it's all doable, and then we can train the rest of the kitchen staff, the rest of the cooks, to prepare the food. But before we head into town, it's bucket bath o'clock again because no water again, and I will just say, not to overshare, but especially for women, and especially when it is that time of the month, it can just make life a little bit harder. You know, it's sort of the time when you really want access to hot running water and to a shower, and instead we've got the bucket bath. So because today we do have electricity and it is overcast and cold, I am actually going to boil a kettle and add that to that just to make it a little bit warmer, a little bit more bearable. So I'm going to have a wash and then we're heading into town. All right, I am fit to be seen in public. And the weather has also cheered up immeasurably, so that's nice. I'm going to hop a public moto and yeah, go and get the last few things from T2000. Begins. So I came back to buy some of these, but I've also just noticed I quite like these. They're huge, but there's no lid handle. It's just like, where is the lid handle? Aha! I found one with the handle. There we go. And again, they're selling teapots, but none of them have got any lids. What good is a teapot without a lid? What is Tadu Mill's aversion to lids on anything? So strange. Yeah, I just asked the staff and they are literally selling teapots for 6,000 francs without any lids on them. What kind of madness is this? That is so crazy. Oh, that's just mad. Okay, so it seems like we've only got these ones for 12,000. They look alright, but yeah, they'll do. Okay, so hopefully that's enough of T2000 for a while. I've got some sweets and I'm just going to sit here whilst they pack. So I just had the realisation I don't have any change to tip the guys who are going to carry everything downstairs for me. And I just went looking for an ATM machine. No ATM machine in the building, nowhere to take out like money from Momo, so we're going to have to stand in the street and mess around with Momo codes so that I can give them some cash. People keep saying, you know, the problem with the cashless society is that it really hurts people who rely on tips, because ain't nobody got... There's some building going on. Because if you haven't got any cash in your pocket, you don't just tip people. But it's definitely an issue. I just got home after a very long day. It's very hot out there, very long day, picking up supplies for the restaurant. And I got home and I was really looking forward to my Snickers. And I opened it and we're back to this again. This is what chocolate looks like when it hasn't had a decent cold chain. And so much of the chocolate, it just comes in, it melts, and it tastes awful. It's kind of like Oh God, no, it's not good. Yeah. It's just really depressing because you're like, oh, I've worked really hard, I'm going to have a nice chocolatey treat, and instead you get that. So this is why I say, if you're buying chocolate and you can, always open it in the shop, because then you can just give it straight back. But you know, yeah, it's depressing. In fact, it's so depressing, I did an entire video about it a while back, but for a while actually things did get better. I mean, you get it a bit less often than you used to, but it's still a major problem. I mean, things like even fresh cream that you buy, chocolate, chances are, I've even bought sausages that were off. Cold chains are just, it's kind of hard because, you know, I talk sometimes about the electricity problems, and of course when the electricity goes off, you know, a lot of the fridges defrost, or, you know, but yeah, this is the result. Hi guys, it's about 6 o'clock and it's just gone dark and the rain is coming down. It's just stopped. We've had a break in the clouds and I've got to just dash across town. I need to go and pick up some supplies for tomorrow because my kitchen manager is coming and we're going to figure out the menu, and I need to pick up some cream cheese, some mozzarella, some bread, some baps. If you don't know what baps are, it's a very British word for a bread roll, a specific kind of bread roll. And so I'm going to go and get those from Steffi Metz, my friend Steffi. You might remember her from the food court video where we went around trying lots of different food. Ugh, not great weather, but last sure of the day, and then I can come home and I can just flump Netflix and bottle of beer, I think. Let's go get this done. She's got a lovely entranceway to the restaurant. See all the lights of Kigali down at the bottom. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I've got meetings all day tomorrow. Oh, we've got drunken people shouting in the street. I'm just going to go and ask them if they can be quiet. Hi, guys, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Hi. Who are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm tired. It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
There's a lot
sorry,
of
there was a
noise.
disturbance. There were thieves running around, but they called
Really?
them. Yeah, they called them, and everything is fine.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
don't
much.
worry.
Thank
Now
you.
it's fine.
Thank
Have
you.
a good night.
You too. Good night. Thank you. Thank you.
Good night.
Night. Good morning, guys, and welcome to one of the most exciting days of setting up this restaurant. Today, my hopefully soon-to-be kitchen manager is coming, and we're going to work through the menu and make sure that everything works. So by the end of today, I'll either be doing a little happy dance or I'm going to be curled up in a ball rocking in a corner. But I'm hoping it's going to be achievable. But first, we've got to set up the kitchen. So just before he arrives, I need to find all the kitchen equipment we've bought, and we're going to figure out where to put everything. Tea break, and I'm very excited. I don't know if I want to tell you about this actually, but I'm going to. There's a shop called Patel's, which is, there's one in Kimihurura, and they sell these biscuits, and they're not always in the shop, but when they have a stock in, I go in there and I buy them because these are just divine. And I don't want to tell you about them because they're my secret. And everybody's going to go and buy them and try them now. But I mean, do. If you see these, get them. If you like peanuts, they're like a kind of a... It's hard to describe. They've kind of got the texture of halva because they've kind of got this sort of sandy consistency. And they're each individually wrapped. I have to admit, I don't love the plastic, but at the same point, they do kind of need to be well wrapped. So yeah, they come in little individual sachet, and they're quite hard to get into. I usually cut them with scissors, but I don't think I've got any scissors. There we go. So you can open them up. And they're quite small. They're sort of about the length of my finger, not even that. And they don't really smell of a little bit like, I guess, cardamom and a little bit nutty. But I think that they've got peanuts with pistachio. That's it. You can see the green pistachio in them. And they're very, very crumbly. Like, they break really easily. So they're very soft, but when you chew them, they become really chewy in your mouth, like caramelly. I think they're divine. So as much as I want to hoard them all for myself, if you do see those in Patels, give them a go because they're really good. I like them. If you like nuts and you're not allergic to peanuts. Very sweet, very sugary, but they get better the more that you chew them. They literally turn into this sort of chewy kind of, that's so good. Crikey, this is a storm we're having this afternoon. Wet season in Rwanda. Look at that tree go. This is one of the reasons we were sort of renovating during the wet season, because when it rains like this, nobody goes out. So it's better to be renovating now than in the dry season. Oh crikey, you can see the water coming in under the door. Got the blue down. I was just moving some paintings around and this little gecko is trying to escape into my phone. I think, little one, I think you might need to go somewhere else, darling. Little golden eye gecko. Come on, darling. Oh. There he goes. It's alright, you're okay. See you later. Hi guys, I've got my happy face on right now. Things are cooking in the kitchen. So I originally I had a guy who's really good, and he used to work for us before, but he's already got a full-time job at another bar, and so it was a bit difficult for him really to work both full-time jobs. And at the moment, because we're getting started, I needed somebody who could be here like permanently, like full-time, and make our kitchen their priority. So there was a lady who applied, I can't speak today. There was a lady who applied to be a kitchen assistant, but she was quite impressive at interview. So I called her in and I said, look, we're in a bit of a situation. This is the menu. Can you spend a few days here and see if you can make it work? And she's been in the kitchen all morning and she's absolutely nailed the hash browns. So, first time ever making them. Absolutely nailed it. So I'm keeping out of her way. I'm going to get ingredients if we don't have them. But I'm keeping out of her way. And I'm letting her and Claire, Mama Hope, who is our other kitchen cook, I'm letting them figure it out together because they're doing a fantastic job. So I'm just running up the road now because my bike went in for a service and it had a little bit of a brake issue. So it's just been fixed and I'm heading up to Pili Pili to go and grab my bike. And then I'm off in search of tinned red kidney beans because there appears to be a shortage and we need them. We need them because we're making chili con carne. Having a bit of a huff and a puff at the moment. I've got quite a heavy backpack on and it's very hot and I'm not very fit. So just running up the road. But I'm feeling good and it's been really amazing just to be kind of sitting in the garden and just having things brought out to taste. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm feeling quietly quite happy at the moment and looking forward to seeing what else they make. I want to get the local council to cut this hedge here because when you're driving and you come to the junction and you turn, you cannot see anything coming up the road until it's right on top of you. So it's really dangerous, and there's loads of junctions just like this around Kigali where they've planted bushes and trees right on the corner of the roads, and it just gets really, really dangerous because, like I say, you just can't see anything until it's right on top of you. And it's the same with pedestrian crossings, is there's giant palm trees, and so you can't see anything until the person steps out from behind the tree onto the crossing, and they think that you can see them, but you can't. If you're moving at speed, you can't. Ready. My bike was fine. This is a trip I took on a public moto a few days later. I thought it was a nice view of the city centre from a distance. We also found this wonderful guy called Joseph who helped us to clean up the bamboo leaves. He did an amazing job turning this into this. I eventually went back to Kavico and bought a whole heap of beautiful masks and that painting I really liked. I also couldn't resist this antique Igisoro board. I've always wanted one of these.